If we want to do Dharma work, people think if I simply do Dharma work and I have a motivation to work and therefore it's Dharma. So I work to make money for Dharma, but they don't replenish that karma. They don't be successful in work. Also, they don't be successful in Dharma. They end up nowhere. Why? Their karma bank is exhausted. Why? You don't create karma. You don't simply just create karma just by motivation. No, it's not that simple. Because in order to just do Dharma work, listen carefully, in order just to do Dharma work and no practice, no commitments, no samayas, no talk, nothing, in order to do just Dharma work, meaning you work with the motivation Dharma, it means that you have reached a certain level already, that you don't have to do any practices to support your merit bank to increase to do work. That is impossible. No one in this room is at that level. No one. So for us not to do meditations and practices, for us not to do our sadhanas, and for us to do preliminary practices to purify our karma, to collect merit so that we can do work to bring benefit to the Dharma, there's no one in that room that's possible. No one. And that's what we heard last week on the book. That's what we heard in the last book teachings by Tenzin Palmo, who says we have to breathe in order to breathe out. So if we do our practices and we do our sadhanas and we do our commitments and we have guru devotion, especially in the tantric path, and we do all that, and then the second part of our day we use it to work in office, in construction, whatever for the Dharma, it has a double result. But if we don't do anything, we don't breathe in, we can't breathe out. So if we don't do our committed practices and our merits and our purification practices, even when we're doing so-called work for the Dharma, it won't reach a fruition, and in fact we get burned out. Why? Because our motivation, our attainment is not that strong enough to support that on its own without meditative and contemplative practices. So people who use the excuse of, I'm doing Dharma work, because I've seen some monks in the monastery, very rare, who just cook, or just clean, or they just drive, and they say, I'm serving the Sangha, but they don't want to meditate, they don't want to attend Dharma talks, they don't want to attend pujas, they don't want to attend commitments, they don't want to attend teachings. There are monks like that, rare, but there are. And they say, because I'm already working for the Sangha, I'm collecting merit. After a while, you see them disrobe. Why? It's not because what they're doing is bad, because they didn't collect the merits to remain a monk. They didn't collect the merits to even sustain in serving the Sangha. The merits ran out. Oh, they are like that. How can you serve the Sangha and become disrobed? But then you see monks who in the mornings, they meditate, they contemplate, they do prostrations, they do mandala offerings, they do their sadhanas, they do retreats, but in the second half of the day, they teach, or they go out and work in the fields, or they go and serve their gurus, or they take care of monastic guests, and those monks last and last and last and last. Because why? Half of the day or part of the day they're spending toward contemplative and meditative and sadhanic practices to collect the merit. The other half, they're actually serving the Sangha directly. It's balanced. So if we sit here in Kichara Media and Publications or in Kichara House saying, well, I'm working here and I'm supporting the Dharma, I'm helping Dharma, I write for the Dharma, and I'm on the computer for the Dharma, and I'm editing for the Dharma, I work in one of the Dharma stores, and that's Dharma what? And we don't want to meditate? And we don't want to do our sadhana, and we don't want to do talk, and we don't want to listen to Dharma, and we don't want to read, and we don't want to study, we don't want to do retreats, you will burn out. And your work will bring no results. Your work will bring no results, and you will burn out. Why? You don't have the karma to last that long. So people who do Dharma work are especially even more important to do contemplative and meditative practices. Why? Then you get double. So people who refuse to keep their commitments, refuse to do their sadhanas, very basic sadhanas, that is a direct violation to Guru devotion. Direct. When you stop your sadhanas with any excuse, it's a direct violation to Guru devotion, to your gurus who gave you the practices. A direct violation. Direct. No and if and buts, no excuses, no lame cover-ups. You are directly violating your guru. So if you say you're working for the Dharma but you're violating your guru, the amount of merit you collect from working for the Dharma in whatever job you're doing is become nothing, because the negative karma you get from violating your guru cancels all of that out. What's the point? So someone says, hey, I open up McDonald's, and all the money that I get, which is a pretty bad example, okay, I open up a vegetarian shop, selling vegetarian food, so that all this will go for my guru and his work. All this will go for Ganden Monastery. And I'm not going to do any meditations, I'm not going to do any practice, I'm not going to do any sadhanas, I'm not going to do anything. Because this is supporting my guru, this will help. And we don't do anything, and we just do that. It won't work. It will not work. Because in order to have such an incredible advantage to serve our guru, in order to have the merit to serve Ganden, we have to have merits to even serve such a great institution. Why? If you have the merits, you don't have to make offerings to the statue and pictures of the Buddha. You can visualize, you can see them directly and make offerings. Why can we not see them directly? So that's why we make offerings to the statues and tankas, so that we can collect the merits in order to see them directly, to make offerings to them directly. So similarly, people who say, hey, I do work in order to help the Dharma, they get up nowhere, they end up nowhere. Why? If your teacher tells you to do this and you do the opposite, especially if you're in the tantric path, you get no result. Why do you get no result? You are in direct violation to your guru. Why? The broken guru samaya will override any merit that you collect from doing any type of so-called Dharma work. And people don't understand that. People who don't listen to Dharma, engage in Dharma, read Dharma, meditate and contemplate on Dharma will not understand that. Whereas people who do contemplative practices, sadhanic practice, sadhanas, and commitments and rituals, and they pujas, they're committed pujas. They do that and they do the Dharma work, you see them grow. Why? They collect the merit to be able to do something so great as to support their guru, the growth of the Dharma, and Ganden. I'll give you an example. If you want to serve His Excellency Mahathir, do you think that you can just get out of school and just jump into his office and say, I'm going to be your personal secretary? Oh, no. If you want to serve His Excellency, the ex-Prime Minister Mahathir, be his personal secretary, do you think you can just jump out of secretarial school and just jump into his office and say, hey, I want to be your secretary? No way. You've got to go through years of experience. You have to build your portfolio. You have to know the right people. You have to, at the same time, correct juncture, and maybe you can be somewhere in his office. And then maybe in this life, maybe 1 out of a billion chance, you can have the honor and to be his private secretary to help a nation to grow. Just jump out of secretarial school. I'd be that ridiculous. That's stupid students who say, hey, I'm not going to do any Dharma practice. I'm not going to do any of my sadhanas. I'm not going to do any retreats. I'm not going to do any of that because I'm doing Dharma work. I'm doing Dharma work, and that Dharma work collects the merits, and my motivation is my guru. Wrong. So then, well, I know a little bit of Dharma. I'm not going to do any practice. I'm not going to do my sadhana. I'm not going to do my commitments. Well, because I don't have to do it, even though my guru told me, because I'm already doing this work to support my guru. Wrong thought. Wrong motivation. For you to even have the merit to support your guru or support Ganden, you have to have the merit first. Just like we make offerings to a tanka or a statue first before we make offerings to the real Buddha. So that's why people who really want to do offerings and who want to take care of Dharma, they have to hold their commitments even more than normal people. And for them to make excuses that they don't have time to hold their commitments, it's absolutely wrong view. Why? I look at Tsem Rinpoche, who has to teach thousands of monks every year, who produces many, many geshis every year, who is one of the most elite masters of Tibetan Buddhism alive today, Tsem Rinpoche himself, in Ganden Monastery. And just because he has to teach more, just because he has a heavier schedule, just because he has a heavier itinerary, he never cuts down on his sadhana. In fact, he went for audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. His Holiness the Dalai Lama graced Ganden Monastery and came down there, and we had audience. And Tsem Rinpoche had audience with us. Irene was with me. She took the picture for us. And when Tsem Rinpoche said, I would like to do a retreat, 3-year, 3-month, 3-day Yamataka retreat, which is 100 million mantras. May I please be excused from teaching and participating in monastic affairs for 3-year, 3-month, 3-day, Your Holiness? Of course, everybody says yes. His Holiness said no. You will do your retreat and keep up your teaching schedule and do your sadhanas. And Tsem Rinpoche said, yes, Your Holiness. And for 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days, I observed my guru who lived upstairs. I served him, I cooked for him, I cleaned for him, I did his laundry. Do you know that? He taught a full class every day, 4 to 5 classes per day. And he did 6 to 7 hours of his personal sadhanas. And he did about 7 to 8 hours of Yamataka practice per day. And he did that for 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days. And when he finished 100 million Yamataka mantras, and he graduated a few geshis, and he did the fire puja, then he went back to His Holiness and reported, I finished. And you know what His Holiness said? Very good. Okay, that's it. No praise, no pat on the back, nothing. I saw this. So for people who tell me here, oh, I'm going to do work, and therefore I can't be involved in the Dharma. I'm going to do work, and therefore I can't be involved in Dharma work. I can't do this, I can't do that. It is their own self-cherishing mind and their selfish attitude and their lack of knowledge and their habituation that push them away from actual Dharma. And their lack of knowledge. They actually speak from ignorance. Therefore, no benefit. Let's make it simple. Let's forget about the example of Khyentse Rinpoche, because I saw that. Let's forget about that. If your guru tells you to do the sadhana, and you say, I won't do it because I'm busy at work, there you go. Where's your Dharma practice? Especially if you take in tantric commitments. Where's your Dharma practice? What's the example you show people? What's the example you show yourself? And what's the habituation you are implanting yourself? What? If your Dharma activity becomes less because of worldly activity, because so-called you have a Dharma motivation, no. No, absolutely not. Definitely not.